In Blaina Gwent are tonight warning lives could be put at risk if plans to close one of the county's fire stations goes ahead. Today was the last chance for people to have their say on plans to save money by the South Wales Fire and Rescue Service. Its chief fire officer says there wouldn't be any additional risk to the public. Paul Heaney is at Blaina Fire Station in Blaina Gwent for us tonight. Paul.
Good evening, Jamie, from a chilly Blaina. There's been a pretty cold reception for the idea of closing this station behind me from the people who live in this neighbourhood too. So why do it? Well, the South Wales Fire and Rescue Service have received far fewer call-outs in recent years. There's better safety on offer for us at home and at work, and money. The fire service get their budget from our cash-strapped local authorities and are having to make millions of pounds of savings in the coming years. But despite that backdrop, campaigners both here and down in Cwmbran say cutting these services could cost lives and are a bad idea for lots of reasons.
I can remember the sound vividly of crunching metal, breaking glass, and I'm lucky to be here.
Robert Emanuel says he owes his life to the fire service. In 1996, he crashed on an icy road in Blaina Gwent, and the crew from Blaina were there in minutes.
A minute is a very long time when you're in a life-threatening situation, and I think, yes, Aberteifi or Brimo stations could get to the scene, but if it took another 5 minutes longer, like I said, to me, I would say that situation was a very unstable situation that they stabilised very quickly.
Robert is one of thousands campaigning against changes to the fire and rescue service in Blaina Gwent and Torfaen because it will increase response times. South Wales Fire and Rescue have to find £10 million of savings in the next 3 years. They've already looked at the way they work in Bridgend, Cardiff and the Vale of Glamorgan. Next year they'll look at Merthyr, Rhondda Cynon Taf and Caerphilly. But today the focus is further east. No changes for Newport or Monmouthshire, but some controversial ones in Torfaen and Blaina Gwent.
Hundreds of firemen from around Britain have attended the funeral at Blaina in Gwent of two firefighters.
Firefighters Stephen Griffin and Kevin Lane died trying to save others in this house fire in 1996. Their memorial is prominently displayed in the Blaina station, which is earmarked for closure.
Lives will be at risk, especially with the increase of 3 minutes in attendance to a fire. For instance, we had a fire locally only a few weeks ago. Now, there could have been serious consequences in that house fire if Blaina hadn't been the first ones to give a prompt attendance.
Welsh Government have already indicated that the fire and rescue services in Wales are not immune to the budget cuts. There will be an increased attendance time into the very centre of Blaina. However, when we run that through the modelling, it does come up as a zero increase in risk.
Ultimately, it's not up to Mr Jakeway what happens next. His proposals and the public consultation, which ends today, will be considered by the Fire Authority next month.
The Prime Minister has confirmed that the next NATO summit will be held in Newport on the 4th and 5th of September next year.